Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies Videocast. I'm Luke here. Happy 4th of July to everyone. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I hope you've enjoyed your day so far. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of barbecues and stuff tonight. I hope everyone enjoys that and has a good time with their family and everything. So just stay safe and have fun. So um, I'm here today to talk about Bryce Harper. It's been a long-awaited video. I've been wanting to make this video for a very long time. Today I finally had an afternoon I could do it. So let's talk. Now, Bryce Harper, as we speak right now, has played 86 games this year. He's been hitting .248 with 16 home runs, 60 RBIs. He's walked 57 times, and he struck out 102 times. So let's talk about who he is. Now, it all dates back. Now, let's have a little history lesson about Bryce Harper. Let's have a history lesson. Now, Bryce Harper, born October 16th, 1992. You have to know all these things to factor in, is he overrated, is he not? So the main purpose of this video, is Bryce Harper overrated? That's the question. So this is my take about the whole entire Bryce Harper situation. So to answer that question, we have to dig back way back into Bryce Harper's time. So Bryce Harper was born on October 16th, 1992 in Las Vegas, Nevada. His parents are Sherry and Ron Harper. This is all memorization, by the way. Obviously, has a brother named Brian, sister named Brittany. So those are kind of things to keep of. He obviously he comes from an athletic family. His dad did Tyree Bar. He wanted to be just like his dad. His dad woke up at I think it was 3 a.m. every morning. He wanted to be like his dad, so he wanted to get up every morning and do that kind of stuff. He was a hard worker like his dad. So that was always in him. He always had that fire in him since he was a little kid. He's always had that that kind of emotion that he wears on his sleeve. So Bryce Harper, that's who he is. He's been like that ever since he was a kid. So all started when he was 16 years old. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. He was deemed as the LeBron James of baseball. He was viewed as so many people looked up to him. He was a very, very popular figure in Las Vegas. Very, very good baseball player. Obviously on the high school team. He did not graduate high school. That's a lot of people don't know that. He passed the test in sophomore in high school, and he went to the College of Southern Nevada, and he was then eligible for the MLB draft because of that, and he was drafted in 2010, first overall by the Washington Nationals. Now, at this same time, there was another player named Mike Trout who grew up in Millville, New Jersey, which is not that far from where I live, actually. So he grew up in Millville, New Jersey, and he put up very, very good numbers too. And he was drafted in 2009. It was the year before Bryce Harper was drafted by the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. So he went to the Angels, and Mike Trout was on the Nationals. Bryce Harper was on the Nationals. I just said Mike Trout was on the Nationals. Bryce Harper was on the Nationals. And they were viewed as very, very identical players. At one point, at the very, very beginning, they put Harper ahead of Trout. And the reason why that is because Harper got more TV attention. He was, obviously, I think he got a lot more attention than Mike Trout did. So that's why he was given kind of the spotlight. So people put Harper ahead of Trout simply because he was also younger. He had, just kind of had more effective fire than Mike Trout. Mike Trout is a very, very good guy, but he's not as fiery as Mike Trout, as Bryce Harper is. So that's what goes on with that. So they're kind of neck and neck, like Trout and Harper. You heard it when they first came up in the league. That's what you heard. Trout, Harper. Who's better, Trout or Harper? Like, who's better? And obviously, Bryce Harper made his MLB debut in 2012 against Los Angeles Dodgers. He threw his helmet off running the second base. I mean, he kind of showed that passion in that first game. So he won the Rookie of the Year that year. He slashed .270, 22 home runs, 59 RBIs, 56 walks, with a .340 on base percentage, .477 slugging percentage, OPS at .817. So he had a good year that year. And so did Mike Trout. So Mike Trout also had a very, very good season as well. So they were neck and neck that first year because Bryce Harper and Mike Trout. Bryce Harper was the National League Rookie of the Year, and Mike Trout was the American League Rookie of the Year. So a lot of people, were saying, "Oh gosh, the debate is on. Who's better?" And I think at this point, so we'll get to this later, but I think at this point, right now, I think we all know who's clearly the better player. And Mike Trout in 2012, he hit 30 home runs. He had 83 RBIs, and he hit 326. So he had a better first year. He had a 399 on base percentage, a 564 slugging. So he had a better year than Bryce Harper. So, but the debate was still on. And then in 2013, Harper hit 20 home runs. He hit 274, 58 RBIs. Mike Trout, on the other hand, hit 323 with 27 home runs and 97 RBIs. So they're still identical numbers. They're still somewhat close numbers. And after I'd say the 2013 season is when Trout really, really was able to, kind of get a leap on Harper. Harper got hurt in 2014. He was out for a while. It was not one big injury. It was like a combination of a lot of injuries that happened to him. He only played a career low 100 games. He only had 352 at bats, and he hit 273 with 14 home runs. That was his lowest home run total. 13 home runs, lowest total of home runs he's ever had in his career. 32 RBIs. That's it. So he did not play much games. Trout, on the other hand, had a fantastic season. 157 games played, 287, 36 home runs, 111 RBIs, and that was good enough to win him the American League National Most Valuable Player Award. So he won the MVP. And I think that at that point, people were saying, okay, Trout is definitely a step ahead of Bryce Harper. In 2015, things really, really changed. I think this is when people started saying, well, maybe we should reconsider. Bryce Harper just went absolutely crazy in 2015. He played 153 games. At that point in 2015, that was a career high for him. Obviously, it's not anymore because last year he played 159. But we'll get to that later. He had 521 at bats, 118 runs scored, 330 batting average, 649 slugging percentage, 460 on base percentage. That is insane. OPS over 1,000. It was 1.109. 99 RBIs, 124 walks. It was unbelievable. He was unbelievable in that 2015 season. That was good enough to win him the National League MVP. Now, Mike Trout, on the other hand, in 2015, he played 159 games. He had 41 home runs. He had 90 RBIs. He had 299. His on-base percentage was .402 with a .590 slugging percentage. So Harper had a better year than Mike Trout in 2015. I think then this is when the debate started flaring up again. Who's better? Who's better? Going into that 2016 season, the debate was who's better, Bryce Harper or Mike Trout? Who's better? And it was on. Like, I remember it years ago, like 3 years ago, I remember it. And at that point, I didn't like Bryce Harper because I'm a Phillies fan, obviously, and I don't like the Nationals, and he was on the Nationals, so I didn't like Bryce Harper. So I obviously always said Mike Trout. So then 2016, I think it was pretty clear after this one. Bryce Harper played 147 games, 24 home runs, 86 RBIs, 243 batting average. Had a very, very down year. Not a Bryce Harper-ish type season. A career low in batting average. His OPS dropped almost 100 points lower than the season before. He went from having a 460 OBP to a 373 OBP. That's a big drop off. The slugging percentage was nowhere near it was before. 441 in 2016 when it was a 6.49 stature before. So clearly the stats just weren't as good 2017. And Mike Trout, on the other hand, he won the MVP in 2016. He played another 159 games. He got 315 with 29 home runs, 100 RBIs, 441 OBP, 550 slugging percentage, 991 OPS, and I think that's when people said, okay, I think Mike Trout's better. And then we go to 2017. Both of these guys got hurt in 2017. Bryce Harper played a second lowest, 111 games. He had 29 home runs, 87 RBIs, 319 batting average. Mike Trout. That was Bryce Harper. Mike Trout. I apologize if I said I keep getting confused. Then Mike Trout, on the other hand, he hits 306 with 33 home runs and 72 RBIs. And I think at that point, I think the debate may have started up a little bit again. Who's better? Who's better? And last year, I think it was pretty clear again. 249 batting average for Harper, 34 home runs, 100 RBIs, 393 OBP, 496 slugging percentage. For Trout, it was a 39 home run season, 79 RBIs, 312 average, 460 on base percentage, which was as high as Bryce Harper's MVP or OBP, 628 slugging. So, I mean, I think at the end of last year, I don't think this debate's really going on anymore. It's clear that Mike Trout is the better player than Bryce Harper. Mike Trout already has 264 career home runs, while Bryce Harper has 200. Mike Trout already has 272 more hits than Harper. Harper's career average is 276. Mike Trout's is 306. So I think for Harper, I think he's a very good player, but he's not nearly as good as Mike Trout. That goes without saying. So I think enough with Mike Trout. Bryce Harper is a superstar. He's a superstar. He set the record with most jersey sales ever within a 24-hour period. He has always been a lightning rod. He's flashy. He does a hair flip. He's very emotional. He gets thrown out of the game a lot. He tells it like it is. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He speaks his mind. He doesn't care what people think of him. He has that kind of West Coast. I forget who said this. He kind of has the West Coast feel, but he West Coast vibe, but the East Coast edge. He kind of has like that fiery edge. He kind of has an edge to him, but he kind of has the West Coast vibe. Like that's exactly who he is. So, as regards with that, I think people, obviously he's MVP. I think that people expect him to go back every single year, hit 300, 330, 42 home runs. Like, that's not what's going to happen. That's not what's going to happen. He's not going to do that every single season. Like, people need to understand that Bryce Harper is very, very inconsistent. He went from hitting 330 to 243. And then next year he came back and hit 319, and then the year after that he hit 249. So he's very, very – his ups and downs are very, very extreme. Every player has ups and downs in this. I apologize if you keep hearing all this banging, guys. It's so annoying. I don't think I can do about that. His ups and downs are very, very, very extreme. And a lot of players have ups and downs, but his ups and downs are very, very extreme. So he needs to just do a better job at being more consistent. And this year he's hitting 248 with 16 home runs and 60 RBIs. So after talking about, comparing Mike Trout and Bryce Harper, I think people expect Bryce Harper to be Mike Trout. I think that's another reason why they think he's overrated. Bryce Harper's not overrated. He's worth the hype. He's a lightning rod. I talked about this before. He's very, very, stylish. He likes all, everything he does. He takes pride in his work. So I think people forget. That a lot. They look too much into the stats and everything, compare him to Mike Trout and everything. Like, they're not comparable players. They're really not. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that Bryce Harper's better than Mike Trout. But there was a GM who I think it was a radio show, who said, who'd you rather have, Bryce Harper or Mike Trout? And obviously I think most people would say Mike Trout, by sure. But Bryce Harper's jerseys were sold more than Mike Trout. The more people go to the games to see Bryce Harper. From a marketing perspective, Bryce Harper would be ahead of Mike Trout, believe it or not. From a stature-wise, Mike Trout. So, is Bryce Harper overrated? It depends on what you think he should be doing. It depends, because my expectations for Bryce Harper are high, but I think the majority of people's expectations for Bryce Harper are way too high. And depends. I think most people expect him to hit 330 with 42 home runs every single season. In that thinking, is he overrated? Yes. In that thinking, yes. In my thinking, he has up and down seasons. He's a very, very good player. He's not Mike Trout, but he's a very, very good player. In that thinking, Bryce Harper is not overrated. And he brings you so much revenue. He is a. They already have his first year already paid off. I mean, he brings in so much revenue to the team because his jerseys are flying off the shelf. They really are. The hats, everything else. Like, people want to be just like him. So people need to stop, getting on Harper. And, obviously I know he's getting paid $330 million over the course of 13 years. I understand that. It's a lot of pressure, but I think people are taking a little bit too far. I think people need to calm down a little bit and understand what the circumstances are. So, is Bryce Harper overrated? No, he's not. Is Bryce Harper the player overrated? Because a superstar really shouldn't be hitting 240 every single, off and on every single season. So if you look at it stature-wise, he is claimed a superstar. Stature-wise, is Bryce Harper overrated? I love Bryce Harper. I'm just saying this right now. Stature-wise, is Bryce Harper overrated? Yes, he is, because he's a superstar, and he doesn't really hit like a superstar because he follows up a year hitting 330, and then he comes back next year and hits 240. And then 300, then 240 again. Is that overrated? Yes. Now, is Bryce Harper overrated? No. Harper, the player, is overrated. Is Bryce Harper overrated? No, he's not. He brings you in so much revenue. He is a superstar. He does his hair flip and all. I talk about this, but I talk about it all the time. He's very, very stylish. People love to watch him play. Like, he's cool. Like, he has that cool vibe to him, Like, he's fun to watch. Like, he's cool. That's why people boo him on the road. I don't know. I mean, I think people a little bit too hard on him. I think the expectations are too high. So, is Bryce Harper overrated? No, he's not. I know that question has been brought up a lot recently. So I just wanted to clear the air with that and tell you what I thought. Now, is Bryce Harper worth $330 million? From a player perspective, stature-wise, is Bryce Harper is he worth $330 million over 13 years? No. From a revenue perspective, yes. Yes, he is. And this is why I think Harper's going to be fine. I understand people are flipping out and saying that he's hitting 248. He's getting paid $25 million a year. Guys. Understand that the AAV isn't bad. That's one thing. The AAV is not bad. And he plays in a little ballpark. We play in a little teeny tiny ballpark. He's still adjusting. He's been on a home run tear recently. I still am thinking that he's going to hit another home run before this All-Star break. He will be fine. I still think he's going to hit a home run. He's going to hit around 250 going into the All-Star break, hitting 17 home runs. Obviously, he's not going to be in the All-Star game. 60 RBIs. He's going to be on track to over 100 RBIs. He's going to totally break his career high in RBIs. This is all assuming if he stays healthy, obviously, of course. So you keep that all in mind. And he hit over 300 last year in the second half. I expect him to do that again. And I think he's going to play like a complete all-star in the second half. I think he's going to hit over 300. I think he's going to hit over like 20 home runs, I'm sure. Maybe not 20 home runs, but I think he's going to hit close to it. He's going to hit over 30 home runs this year. And guys, at the end of the year, if his stat line says 35-plus home runs or even 30-plus home runs, 260, 270, maybe 280 average, I don't know if he can get it. I think he could get it in 270s. Maybe 280s. I don't even know. That line with, obviously 100 career high RBIs, That's good. That's a good first year in Philadelphia. And he could build off of that. He hasn't even hit his peak yet. People are acting like he's 33 years old. He's going to up. That's the age that people don't want to see. That's when players start creeping closer to that 40-year-old. That's when players start getting washed up and declining. He's 26. You want to know that something? He's 26 years old. Yeah. Yeah, he's 26. Can you believe that? You wouldn't believe that from hearing it from everybody else, because people want to depict him as he's not the same play. Yeah, believe me, you haven't seen nothing yet. I think Harper has another. He may not ever hit 330 again, but I think he has 40 to 50 home run potential at least 3 or 4 times, and he had 1,000 OPS in that MVP season. I think he'll do that again. Now, another question. So I'm not concerned about Harper. Is Bryce Harper a Hall of Famer? It's too early to tell. He's definitely on track to be a Hall of Famer. This is all assuming he stays healthy, because he hits around, obviously, over 20 home runs every single season, except that 2014 season. And if he could do that, then he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, because unless he doesn't get caught with some scandal about cheating with steroids or whatever, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, because it's going to be over 500 home runs, especially if he could have like the high OPS, like I said. That's going to get you in the Hall of Fame. A lot of RBIs will get you there. And I think people would vote him in. I think that having that, like I said, that edge, that kind of vibe to him, that will help. He will be a Hall of Famer. I mark my words. I will come back 20 years from now and watch this video, and I'm hoping that what I'm saying right now is right. And I hope I'm right. So that is my take on the whole Bryce Harper situation. Have a good 4th of July, everybody. That was kind of a long video. So if any of you guys stuck around to watch it, I really appreciate it. Smash the like on this video. Tell your friends about this video. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. I really appreciate all the support. I am Luke, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.